Hello, welcome to my channel. This video is my pregnancy scare at 49 story time. This is a very bizarre and very embarrassing story. I cannot believe I'm even doing this, but I said, yes, I'm gonna do it because I often share little stories of my life. And why not share this one? Actually, I have had quite a few pregnancy scares, not just at 49, but 48, 47, 46, 45, 44, 43, pretty much, I would say, the last 15 years. And that's when we had our last baby, which made child number 5. So this is pretty much how it started. This one was a real scare. So I'll just focus on this particular story because it's as bizarre as it is. It just freaked me out. But it kind of started in the fall of 2018. I went for my regular routine visit with my gynecologist. I had to go and have my pap smear, my pelvic exam. To make a long story short, my results had come back abnormal. So you get that call, you kind of freak out a little bit because I had never had my gynecologist call me to tell me that my pap smear and my pelvic exam test had come back abnormal. So I'm thinking, okay, so I go to my husband and I tell him, he says, calm down, don't think the worst, it could be anything. And I'm thinking, I've never had a phone call like this before. So my gynecologist, she sets an appointment for me to come back. So I go in because the concern with this was she thought I had endometriosis. So I told her this does not run in my family. So then she brought up something about my age and how I could be at risk. And I've heard quite a few things from different doctors. When you get older, especially when you start approaching 50, certain health tests you may need because of certain symptoms, or certain tests come back not normal. So I'm thinking, okay, let's do this. So I go back to do the test again, but I did tell her 2 days later, after I had my pap smear and my pelvic exam, that I had come on my period. So she said, oh, okay, that can pretty much make sense as to why I had cells on my walls. She said, but because it showed up in my test, I've got to come back and have her scrape some cells off. And she told me, you've had babies, so you can pretty much handle this. And plus I've had babies where I did not have any pain medication intervention. I did it all natural. So she said, if you can handle that, you can handle this. And it was painful, but I was able to handle it. But anyway, she did that, and it did come back normal. So my cycle showing up 2 days later, that was the explanation to why the cells were there. So also while she did that test again, she decided that she was going to do some additional tests to test my eggs. She said, you're 49, you're going to be 50 years old next year. Let's just go ahead and do some tests to see what your eggs are saying, how good they are, and what are my chances of getting pregnant. So to make a long story short, she told me that I had a less than 1% chance of getting pregnant. She said, but I cannot tell you to just be free and have sex with your husband because that 1% chance you can get pregnant. And she said, I can't tell you when you're going into perimenopause because, and I use the term perimenopause because doing research after this pregnancy scare, I learned that when the very first day you have your period, whatever age you are, 10, 11, 12, 13, whatever, you now enter premenopause. For years, people have been getting it wrong. I've been saying it wrong. The moment you have your period, you have officially entered premenopause, right? Kind of makes sense. Perimenopause is when you start going through the change, when your period starts acting up, where it's no longer normal. Either it can be heavy or it can be light. So that's just a quick enlightenment right there. So getting back to the story. Okay, so she tells me 1% chance. She said, I can't tell you when you're going to go into, she used the term premenopause. She said, I can't tell you when that's going to happen, but just be careful. But anyway, January 2019, that was my last period. I did notice the third day it started to get light. Now, my whole entire life, I've never had cramps that will indicate that my period is coming. I never had the tender breast. I never had the mood swings. My husband may say something different. And I never had cravings. I never had headaches. I don't get sleepy. I didn't have anything. I had the most wonderful ride when it came to when my period would come. So, hey, have no complaints there. So, I didn't have a period in February, and I got kind of concerned. What's new? We done been down that road so many times. It could just be, hey, it's going to show up. But I never went an entire month without a period, unless I was pregnant. So now it's beginning to get very scary and very, very real. March came. Maybe it'll come in March. So I had a cousin who's a nurse, a registered nurse. I have a girlfriend who's also a registered nurse. So for so many years, I have just beat that horse to death. Oh my God, I think I might be pregnant. And I know I have just tired both of their ears out and say, here we go again with this pregnancy stuff. Whew, my Lord. My husband and I, just reckless. Yes, reckless. And that's what's so embarrassing. Just reckless. But you know what? It is what it is. I'm not out here having sex with anybody but my man, my husband. So, hey, if I ended up pregnant, don't worry. We're not calling anybody for diapers. And so February, no period. March, no period. So at this time, my cousin, who's a registered nurse, told me, just wait until the end of March and then you can go have a pregnancy test. Well, you know what? At that point, I had pretty much wrapped my brain around, you know what? If I am, okay. My husband, on the other hand, he was like, oh my God, I don't want to be... I can't imagine going back to you calling me asking for diapers, because our last 2 babies were in diapers at the same time. Whew, but he did save money on milk because I breastfed, so that was a good thing. So anyway, March came and gone, nothing. April, I'm thinking maybe I'll go ahead and do it. But I ended up going to emergency in April because I had gone outside in 2 terrible conditions, cold and raining. And because, my body is dealing with an autoimmune disease, that's a no-no for me. But I did it running into Walmart to go get me some animal crackers, even though my husband said, I looked, he's on the phone, no, stay in the car. I looked and I'm thinking, no, he must have overlooked. So here I am running in the cold, barely dressed to be out in the cold, and it's raining. That was a bad combination for me. 2 days later, I had to go to the ER because I had difficulty breathing. So I went to ER. Didn't even know that they did a pregnancy test on me. I had to live another 30-something days thinking I'm pregnant, trying to wrap my brain around it. Didn't even know they did the test. And they could have saved me all that agony by telling me, oh no, we did the test. You're not pregnant. But I went all this time thinking I was pregnant. So I go to my gynecologist. No, I didn't. I made an appointment because she wasn't able to take me until May, because they said if you are pregnant, you got to go through a consultation, and we're not going to do a pregnancy. You're not going to do a pregnancy test? I got to wait until when? So she said, well, you can always just go to the clinic and have a test done. So I knew I already had an appointment to see my primary doctor, and that was in May 5th to be exact. So I go to him. He tells me, I told him what happened, and he said, let me check your records because I'm sure they may have already done a test. He told me, yeah, we did a test. It came back negative. And I said, nope, I don't believe it. Take another test. He was like, no. I'm like, no, I don't believe it. He said, well, if you do another test, your insurance is not going to pay for it. You have to pay for it. Do you think I care about paying for a pregnancy test when I think I got a baby in my stomach? He said, well, why do you think you're pregnant? I said, because a few days ago, my daughter, she got her baby Doppler and brought it to me at 2 o'clock in the morning. She went and got that little machine and she tried to feel around. She couldn't hear anything. But then a couple times it was like a little faint heartbeat. And I was like, oh my God. It's a baby in my stomach. I know it's a baby in my stomach. And then all of a sudden, what happened? My stomach started moving. I was pregnant 3 times. I had 3 babies. My other 2 children are from my husband's first marriage. But I have carried 3 babies in my belly. I have felt 3 babies move. I know what it feels like. I had her, put it on my stomach. She couldn't get it. So finally I said, let me do it. So I'm like, let me push right here. And I heard a heartbeat. Bum, 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 bum. And my daughter all excited, tears coming to her eyes. Oh, mommy, you're going to be pregnant. I'm like, no. Not at 49. I can't do that. I'm like, God, you missed your opportunity. You had all those other years. Nope, this is not happening. So I told him that story. You know what he told me? It would literally be a miracle for you to be pregnant because you just had a test, it came back negative, and no baby is going to be moving that fast. He said, Mrs. Johnson, that was your artery. Are you sure? Are you absolutely positively sure? He said, yeah. Then he said, well, where did you get that machine from? And I'm thinking, that's besides the point. You can talk to me to make sure I'm not pregnant because I'm feeling some stuff in here. So he asked me, well, what did you eat? I said, well, on that Sunday before I had that incident, I went to a vegan fast and I got sick. Actually, my daughter and I both got sick because we ate some vegan food from a company that was in Chicago. And we both got so sick. I won't go into details about what happened according to our sickness, but he said that's probably what it was. He prescribed me some medication. I didn't take it. And therefore, he was right because he did the test again and it came back negative. Whatever that thing was going on in my stomach, about 4 or 5 days later, it did eventually go away. That was my pregnancy scare at 49. I had wrapped my brain around, yes, I'm going to have this baby. I literally wrapped my brain around it. I was looking at baby stuff, baby bags, clothes, thinking, I'm having a little girl. I'm thinking all this stuff. My husband, on the other hand, he didn't want to talk. He did not want to talk about it. But anyway, that is my story. It was very frightening. It was a very big scare. It was very embarrassing because I could have found out a long time ago that I wasn't pregnant. But yeah, now perimenopause it is, because here it is, July. No, what is it? June? Yeah, June. Still no period. So I have officially entered perimenopause. That is another video. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, give me a like, subscribe to my channel because we're going to be talking about a lot more life stories. Thank you. Have a good day, a blessed day, and